Doomsday 3.
Yeah, we had Doomsday 1.
No question in my mind.
He came from one of the toughest areas of Phoenix, both in his country and of course.
Praying for the safety and got people on the defense talking about it. You better get your ass football. You better get your ball.
I just gotta say, when it comes to mortality,
Different.
For sure, they would have thrown it off because
This guy gets on you.
Steal it from me. And then I go to bed every night like, gee, man, I promise you that we got a special What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here with my man G-Reg from the U. My man Greg coming in here. How's it going?
Good, man. I'm doing good. Feeling good. The season's getting closer every day. Can't wait for training camp to start. Matter of fact, next week, the Cowboys, they go to training camp Sunday. They start, Tuesday? And it's on like fire.
It is, and I'm trying a new thing here. I was telling Greg before we're gonna throw the comments up there. Hopefully, I'm not making an amateur mistake by allowing you guys visibility of everything some of these knuckleheads are saying. But we're gonna have fun. We don't care. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit the share button as you guys are rolling in. Definitely appreciate everyone coming into the cave. I want to give you guys a quick disclaimer. I'm in the middle of a very nasty, and if you guys ever lived in Florida, especially the Tampa area, that's a lightning capital of the world, a very bad thunderstorm. So if I disappear, I do apologize. It wasn't me quitting on you guys. It was the power went out, and I'm going to have to light some candles and get some flashlights. So hopefully everything will go well and we can get through this show. But wanted to get things going before we get the show going, and we're going to be talking a lot of Dallas Cowboy defense. You see, I'm wearing Eugene, the Hit Machine Lockhart jersey, going old school because I got to get that defensive mindset, and definitely appreciate all you guys rolling up in the chat. But we got to talk about our tailgate party, our third annual tailgate party. It's going to be right around the corner, September, week 4. Cowboys versus Packers. I mean, you don't get much better than that. And my man Cuts by Jones, if you guys saw his video, he posted on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and all that kind of stuff. And we put it on Twitter as well. You get an opportunity. We did it last year with the bottle opener. Now we got the paddle because we're gonna spank that ass, like my man Cut said. We're gonna spank that ass. So we got to get the paddle for the Packers and get it ready. But you guys can get yourself a nice Cowboys Cave paddle, and you got on the backside you could put your name, or you can put any kind of thing up to 7 letters, and it's $40. All the proceeds go to the tailgate. And people say, man, what's going on with the tailgate? How can I help? What's it cost? We don't like charging. We're not charging anyone. We're in lot 10, but obviously it costs us money. If anyone parked in lot 10, you know how much the parking pass is. Food, we're going to have drinks. We're going to have the whole get up, and we're looking at getting 3 to 4 spots, man. This thing is growing every single day. So, or every season, I should say, and it got bigger last year. It's going to get better even this year. So definitely it's an opportunity for you guys. If you want to help out, get something in return, you can get one of those paddles to spank that ass for the Cowboys. Will be whooping that ass this year, and the Packers are going to be the one that we got our sights set on to get that thing done early. So definitely can support it. Reach out to Cuts by Jones or reach out to myself, Kelly. You can message Greg, anyone in the family. Just let us know, and we'll get you hooked up in the right spot. But it's going to be fun, Greg. I don't know if you're not making it. I don't think.
No, I didn't say I wasn't making it.
It could be a surprise.
That's my plan is to make it. My plan is to make it.
Very nice, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that is one of those games, Packers Cowboys, I've never seen live. And I did our top 5 rivals a couple years ago, and I got Packers in the top 5 easily, and could be arguably one or two if you want to make the case for it. I mean, how big is that Packer-Cowboy rivalry in your eyes?
It's pretty big, because the Cowboys and the Redskins / Commanders back in the day, they used to be the big one. But outside of our division, the Packers was one of the biggest games because if a lot of people don't know, I was old enough, but I didn't quite see the game. But I remember hearing about the Freeze Bowl when Dallas played Green Bay and Bart Starr, and they lost, and that was just prior to the Super Bowl era coming in. And then ever since that, anytime the Cowboys and the Packers got together, it was always a rivalry. And it stayed that way, but it kind of simmered down until Favre joined the Packers, and then it just stirred it back up again. And we always seemed to have their number when we needed it in the playoffs, whether it was home or away. And then later, when Aaron came, that's when we started having trouble with them. And we almost had them beat in the playoffs in Green Bay, but for a Murray fumble, which changed the game,
it did.
For a bad referee call on Dez, we came up short.
No, absolutely. People forget about that Murray fumble. I know they talk about Dez, but the Murray one was a critical one. But yeah, so people forget the Cowboys did own the Packers back in the day. I always have to remind them of that because it has been so long. And I'll be honest, they've owned us. I mean, so it's going to be a lot to get it going. And there we go. Eva's in the house. Hopefully she's getting her power back. She's at her friend's house, her boyfriend's house, her boyfriend, our friend's house, and they don't have any power. So hopefully it gets better. If not, you better get home, Eva, because it's air conditioning's working and we got the lights on. Don't want to jinx myself.
And remember, Eva, when you get up there in Valdosta, study.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you'll be coming home because your pops ain't paying for you to sit there and have fun. They get an education. So, but it's all kidding aside, man, and appreciate everyone hopping in the chat, getting things going. This is the hot topic, really, for me. I think all of us feel pretty good about our defense, our offense. I think we feel we're going to put up some points. I think everyone feels pretty good, but the defense. You're going into our third defensive coordinator in as many years, right? So now we get Eberflus, who's coming back. People, who don't know, he was with the Cowboys back in the day, linebackers coach, and we had some pretty damn good linebackers. So he played linebacker, and he's been known as that linebacker whisperer. He always seems to find these linebackers and really help them get to that next level. So when you think of Eberflus and you think of his system. The strength is his run defense, which he's got his work cut out with this defense. Obviously, doing a lot of stunts, a disciplined defense. That's another thing that he's going to have to really he has his work cut out because discipline has been a weakness of this Cowboys defense. Speed, which I think we got some speed. I think we got that. Takeaways, we've always been known for getting takeaways. And you look at this Cowboys coaching staff as a whole, and I mean, it was basically an overhaul. I believe they got like 17 new assistant coaches added to the staff. And looking back at Eberflus when he went to the Colts, when he left Dallas and got his first coordinator job, he turned that Colts defense around quickly and with not a lot of talent. And I think that this Cowboys team has more talent than the Colts team did then. So his first year, they were 30th in points per game, allowed. He got him up to 10th in 1 year. The run defense was 26th. He got him to 8th in the first year. No 100-yard rushers that whole season. His old school comes, his philosophy is that Bucs defense in the mid-90s. Let these guys play free, eyes on the quarterback. That equals takeaways, and he maximized the talent. So I'm telling you all this is I'm trying to sell you guys all on Eberflus, but Greg, how you feeling about this hire? And you guys in the chat, what are you thinking about Eberflus as the defensive coordinator? Can he make all those changes and that overhaul? Because everything that we mentioned, what is his strength, was a major weakness of this defense.
Well, Eberflus is one of those guys in the NFL, even though I know all these coaches that are under the head coach aspire to be a head coach one day for the prestige and the money. But I'm a firm believer. If you are a spectacular, phenomenal offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, and you try that one stint as head coach and it doesn't work, get back to what you know you're phenomenal in and stay there for your career. Now, I understand because of money-wise, it's tempting to try to move up to head coach. But when you do that, you bring in a different defensive coordinator like Eberflus. So now you don't have that strong defense that your reputation relied on. So people say, well, if he had this strong defense at Indy and then he becomes a head coach in Chicago and his defense is trash, well, he's not the defensive coordinator anymore. And the input he gives them isn't as good as being a full-time defensive coordinator. Now that he's back as a defensive coordinator and full-time, I think that's going to benefit us tremendously because the talent he has as a defensive coordinator is unprecedented. And what he's going to do for us on defense with the discipline and the culture of those players to play the way Eberflus wants them to play them, I think we're going to see a major uptick on the defensive line helping to stop the running game because we picked up some transitions to play that defensive line to plug some holes. Jay Toy got him from UCLA. He's a good hole stopper. We got several players to fill those holes on defensive line, and we got some good edges because, we picked up over 30 players between the draft, the transactions, the free agents. There's a lot of people vying to make this team on defense, and it's going to be a serious competition. And I think Eberflus is the best defensive coordinator at this point for Dallas to mold that defensive line.
Yeah, and competition was one of the things he thrives on, right? He said he wants to have competition at every single level of the defense, every position of the defense. And it was interesting because he had a lot of options. I mean, he had a lot of options to go anywhere for defensive coordinator. And I know the issues in Chicago, the team didn't kind of get off, but let's not forget that run defense went from worst to first in one year. So, I mean, a lot of it was, the Bears offense is a problem and was a problem, and that never helps the defense either. But he had options, and they asked him, why Dallas? And he felt, Joneses were number one. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Jones family felt good coming back home. That was one of the things that was a selling point for him to come back. The other one, which is always interesting because he's the hot topic of every conversation, is Dak Prescott. The leadership of Dak Prescott, the man of Dak Prescott, and what he believes he can bring to the team and hopefully deliver him a championship. That was one of the big reasons. That was the two top reasons. And you say, well, what about Shoddy? I don't know about Shoddy. Well, he was talking to the Cowboys before the Cowboys even kind of figured out their coaching situation. He was already kind of, they were putting feelers out there to see what he'd do. Then when they got Shoddy, it was basically a slam dunk. And he said Shoddy's personality, his leadership, his energy, and really Shoddy being a first-year head coach, I think Eberflus can really help him because he learned, from some of his mistakes. Shoddy can learn from some of the things, and he touched on a lot of that. So I'm excited to get him back in Dallas. I'm excited to see what he could do with this defense. But the thing that we've got to look at is really what must happen. What's got to happen for this defense to really live up to their potential. Now, I put 3 down, and I want to get you guys in the chat's opinion, but Greg, I didn't share them with you, so I always like to do this just to kind of say, hey, maybe you can call me crazy, tell me I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, or tell me what you're saying ain't never going to happen, so you better work on something else. But I think number 1 is Mozzie Smith has to play the first-round potential. I think he is the X factor because, like you said, the defensive ends, they're loaded. I mean, you're talking about Parsons, who Eberflus said Parsons is going to play everywhere. And one thing Parsons says is people underestimate his ability to rush up the gut over those D tackles, over the nose guard. And he said Parsons is going to be everywhere. So our ends with Fowler coming back, you talked about Neal and Sam Williams coming back. They drafted Eazy-E. I mean, they've got pass rushers. That's not a problem. Yep. The problem is stopping the run. And I think it starts in the middle. And Mozzie is going to have to live up to that potential. If the Cowboys are expecting to get this defense to be a top, I'm just gonna say top half. I don't need them to be top 5, but top 12, top 13 defense. What's your thoughts on Mozzie? Do you agree or disagree?
No, Mozzie has to step up. If Mozzie needs to be a household name during this season, and we need to hear that a lot, because Mozzie's been able to hide behind people in his first few seasons, but now Mozzie's got to be the man. With all this competition coming in and these hungry players, and they want to play for the star, and some of them want to stay in the league, Mozzie's going to have to step it up. And I think this pressure, when Mozzie sees all of these new transactions from the coaching staff to the defense, we got more defensive transactions this year than we've gotten in a long time. Mozzie's going to feel the pressure immediately. And Eberflus is not going to let him get away with it. The difference between Eberflus and Dan Quinn was a player's coach. And he could get on the players, but you kind of knew he wasn't getting on them. I don't think Eberflus is going to tolerate it. Eberflus is going to get on them because Eberflus has a mindset of what his defense should be like, and he's accepting nothing less than that. And you either get on it or you move and let somebody else come in, because the line is going to be deep for people trying to replace Mozzie. So Mozzie's got to really step up and show that he wants to be a Cowboy for life, let alone be one hell of a contributor this year on the defense, plugging them holes, because we got some young players going to be side by side with them that are waiting to do their job, and that's what they do.
Yeah, and I think Toya is one of those guys.
Yes.
I mean, he can be a factor. He's a late-round draft pick, and my man Kelly pointed out, how many late-round draft picks the defensive tackle have success, and we had to go all the way back a little bit down to Jay Ratliff, our 7th rounder, who was all-pro, phenomenal defensive tackle for the Cowboys. But I think he is going to be one of those guys. You're going to have to count on some of these young guys to step up on this defense. So number 2, and we're going to get into this later, the health of Diggs and Overshown. And I think you've got to get one back. And I don't know which one. I probably, if I had to choose, I'd probably say I want Diggs back, because I just think the secondary is hurting. And it's very thin with some, you just don't know what you're going to get there. But a pass rush can help that. A pass rush can be a cornerback's best friend. And Overshown, I mean, one, do you think that they will be back, and will they be able to play at the level that you're expecting? Or is this going to, like, I watched, read Dallas Cowboys, .com and some articles, and listened to some podcasts with it. And almost every single one of them, and I'm not a doctor and I'm not on the team, payroll, so I don't know. They said it's a bonus. Don't expect much from either one of them, is what a lot of people are saying. Diggs, they felt, might have a better shot of getting back earlier. But again, they said his injury is a little tricky. He's gone outside, the facilities for his rehab and the treatment. So they just don't have a good feel of it. But it could be trouble if both are gone for the year or have no impact. That doesn't bode well for this defense.
No, it doesn't. Diggs may be back sooner because Diggs' injury happened earlier, and Diggs' rehab got a chance to get a head start. Overshown is going to be pushing it. They're talking about late in the season, about game 8. I think Overshown is going to be pushing it. I would be safe and hold him out to maybe about the 10th game to give him opportunity. When he comes back, Overshown is as young as he is, as motivated as he is, and is just happy to be a Cowboy and be on that field after what he did last year before he got hurt. He's going to come out there and try to go full throttle. They're going to have to hold the reins back on Overshown a little bit. Diggs is trickier because Diggs is playing defensive cornerback. Diggs got to make a lot of quick, sharp moves, which immediately affect those knees. And one quick inside move or outside jerk could just rupture his Achilles again. I mean, not his Achilles, but his ACL once again, and his knees can go bad. So Diggs, I think, is going to be more patient and more apprehensive when he first comes back, until his mind just forgets about the injury. So it'll take a few games. So we may not see the production. Well, we won't see the production from Diggs that we saw when he didn't have injuries. Overshown, when he comes out, he's going to try to go full throttle right away because Overshown is that type of guy. So they may have to ease him in and throttle him back a little bit. But see, what's going to hurt us initially until those guys even come back to try to keep an offense smart is Bland's going to end up feeling like he's going to have to do all this by himself because Bland may be moving from corner to nickel to all over the field. And it's going to take people like Elam, Mukamua. It's going to take players like those guys and Josh Butler. It's going to take players like those guys to come in, and they're going to have to fill first-team roles. And they're going to be huffing and puffing unless some of these other corners that we got coming in and the one we got drafted, if they're coming in and they can take over and they can hold their ground so these guys can rotate and effectively make that defensive back area at least a standard good team. Because our middle linebackers right now, if you think about it, it's a quiet hush. Nobody really is talking about our linebackers.
No.
You hear everybody talking about a defensive line and our corners. So our corners are going to be the, as you call the what do they call it? The liability. The corners are going to be the liability. So I'm hoping that Eberflus sees something in how to use these guys, and especially in the nickel, how to use these guys. And with these other transitions we got, that somebody steps up where Bland isn't on an island by himself. And then I think we'll be okay. But the key is if the defensive line can put pressure on that quarterback to force bad passes, quick passes, and not give them a lot of time, our DBs may be safe. Because the ball will be coming out quicker, it'll be shorter, and the linebackers will be back there to help give them some help.
Yeah, and Ravel he's coming off an injury too.
Yeah,
I mean, people got to remember too, he's coming off an injury, so you don't want to put all your eggs in him. Now you got Carson, who they drafted last year, who they had a lot of high hopes, and he had some injuries. But Danny, just give Danny a shout out. Absolutely, the mental hurdle is something that for Diggs and anyone coming off of Overshown would be another one too, is because he's coming off back to back. And he gets another one, you got to think his career is going to be over. I mean, he's just, he'll never stay healthy. So there's a lot. There's a lot there. Let me get a quick, hey, we got a super chat. Help. Thank you. This all goes to the Cowboys Cave Tailgate Party. Well, Mozzie needs to show to make you feel better. What does he need to show to make you feel better? He needs to play at a solid level. He needs to not, he doesn't have to dominate the line of scrimmage, but he can't get dominated. He can't get pushed back. He's got to hold the line. He's got to hold his position, and he's got to fill the gap, and he's just got to make sure that he lets his linebackers do the work they need to do. Too many times for me, he just got manhandled, and he showed flashes. And Eberflus feels pretty good about him. He thinks that with his scheme, and it's one of those things. Do you believe in the scheme or do you believe in the players? And Eberflus has shown the ability to put together a nice scheme. So we'll get into that some more. But number 3 is this could be a curveball. This could be a curveball because really has nothing to do with our defense. It's our Cowboys running game. The best friend to a defense is a running game because it chews up the clock and it keeps a bad defense off the field. So if this defense can't play at that level, our running game is going to be critical to the success of that defense and giving them rest and also time of possession. So I'm going to flip it. This will be the time we talk about the offense for a little bit, unless we got some time left over, we'll get into it. But looking at this running game, do the Cowboys have enough horses? Do you believe in what they have in this running game to be able to sustain drives, to dominate with when you have the lead, to be able to not to put all the pressure on the passing game to throw 40 to 50 times a game? What's your thoughts on this running game? Because you got 3 young ones, and you got one that's still under 30, but you got he's had a couple rough years in Carolina, but Miles Sanders has shown his ability to run the football. So what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm not concerned about the running backs. We got all the juice we need back there. We
Okay.
got young, we got veterans. The thing is, in training camp, I think it's going to be running backs by committee until somebody rises up and takes the lead. And then somebody right behind them that shows here's our bang bang right here. Because we have the talent. We got the veterans. And these are serious veterans. Javonte Williams, he is no joke by any means. And Miles Sanders isn't either. He did a good job out there at Denver. Let me tell you, these guys are ready. We have the running backs we need. All we need to see now is who's going to rise above the cream of the crop in training camp. That's going to determine what our running backs are going to be like. But during training camp, it's going to be running back by committee because we don't know what we have yet. Most all of them is new except for Lipke and Vaughn, and we don't know where Lipke and Vaughn are going to be. And I think Lipke, if he makes the team, he'll be more like a Moose Johnston, or special teams like Moose Johnson / Bill Bates.
I don't even know if he makes a team. I'll be surprised if he makes.
He'll be in, and if he does, he'll be one of those in those two categories. But I'm not concerned about our running backs because I really feel that we got everything we need back there. Now, I love the transactions we made. I like the draft picks we got. And people talk about later rounds. Look, you get some of the Hall of Famers in the later rounds. You get the most hungry people in the later rounds. Some of these young kids get drafted in the first and second round, even the third round. They kind of feel like they're privileged because they think they got drafted that high. So they go out there and they expect to make the team. But you got these guys behind them that are hungry. And these guys, believe me, they're going to go out there and put out more in those training camps than some of these first and second rounders who feel kind of privileged. And that's when you see where you got those lunch bucket players that you can take anywhere. Running back's going to be fine. If the offense can go up and down the field, score a bunch of points, that'll help our defense. But Eberflus, I really, really feel now that he's back to his primary specialty, he doesn't have to worry about managing the team as a coach. All he has to do is worry about defense. That's his pig and slop moment right there. I think he's gonna mold our defense and bring out of Mozzie what we haven't seen out of Mozzie and demand it and hold them accountable. And the rest of these players we got that we are deep in waiting to take their chance, they're going to prove something to make these players from last year look over their shoulder all through training camp.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Let's get to we got some super chats too, man. We're gonna load them, so definitely want to give the lunatic a shout out. We talked a little bit. We talked about the cornerbacks, and we'll get into it. But Bland in the slot, I mean, it'd be nice because he's that kind of he's built to be a slot cornerback. I don't think the Cowboys have that luxury right now. I don't. No. I think he's their best cornerback coming back. Outside of Diggs, which you don't know what you're going to get. I don't think they have the luxury to do that. So ideally, I think it's a great spot for him because he's that kind of guy, but I just don't think it's going to be an ideal opportunity for him. And definitely stay humble, stay hungry, be blessed, Cowboys Nation. To Lunatic, we love you. We appreciate the love and the donations to the Cowboys Cave tailgate party. But Bland in the slot, any quick thought on that?
Bland, you're right. Bland would be great in the slot if Overshown was back, if Diggs was back, and we saw where our corners and safeties were solid. You put Bland in the slot on the nickel, nobody's behind him. And I'm not saying the rest of the players are garbage. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. Not saying nobody's behind him. And they'll say, look, Bland is in the nickel. Bland's in the slot. Diggs isn't in the game yet. Overshown isn't over here at linebacker outside. All we got now is their backup corners back there. Let's throw on them. If that defense gives us 3 seconds, let's throw on them. So I think right now, you're right. The best words were, we don't have the luxury. The Cowboys don't have the luxury of putting them up in the slot because you don't have that number 2 and that number 3 behind them. So when he leaves that island, somebody else fills it right away. Unless the rookie that's coming in shows that he can be that man because he's a big force. He's a tall force, and he's got the speed. But if he picks up that NFL quick and the game isn't too fast for him, they might be able to slip him to the nickel every now and then. But knowing Eberflus, he might try it. He might try it based on how the defensive line is putting it on an offense. he might try it. You
I
never
mean, it
know.
depends a lot of how his other guys set up. I definitely agree. And the lunatic, you ask, people have asked this, and definitely, I didn't say it. I didn't put it on this show, but you can do Cash App. Believe it's Cowboys Cave. I think it's very simple, Cowboys Cave, but I could double check and put it out there. But I'm pretty sure it's just Cowboys Cave. If you want to make a donation, if you're going or not, again, all of it goes towards the tailgate. We don't keep any of the money. I end up putting out more of the money than we get, just because I love doing it. I said it 3 years ago. My dream was always the tailgate with my family, tailgate with friends. And being a Cowboys fan living in Florida, I never had that opportunity. And then if anyone who's been to the Cowboys games, it's not easy to tailgate. It's a lot of work. You got to sleep overnight. Jerry Jones does no favors for Cowboys fans. It's ridiculous. I go to Miami Hurricane games, and it is just a tailgate party, man. It is rows and rows, everyone having a great time. And it's unfortunate the Cowboys don't open up the stadium and open up that opportunity to make it easier. So I said, you know what? I want to do this. So 3 years ago, we did the first one. Didn't know what will happen. I didn't know if anyone was going to come. I didn't know what to expect. And we just did it. Cuts joined in, obviously Kelly and the crew. And then it got bigger and bigger. Got a shout out to Mark because he was our free parking pass. We only had one spot then. We had one spot. And then other people joined in last year. Obviously, Greg came out. He could tell you, man, it was phenomenal. It got bigger and bigger. So we're expecting it to get even better. And hopefully what I tell you guys is you can go to the game. If you're going to the game, definitely stop by. It's lot 10. It's not like we're in some special place. You can walk up and it doesn't matter. And if you don't have tickets to the game and you live in the area, you could hang out. Cuts and a bunch of people are just going to hang out at the tailgate during the game. We've got the TVs and watch the game, and then we'll come back out and celebrate after we whip that ass. So definitely, if you guys want to do that, always appreciate it. And one last,
don't forget,
go ahead.
Don't forget, we won tailgate of the game last year.
Absolutely.
We won tailgate party of the game.
So it's going to be a party when we get the crew together. We're going to have fun. We're definitely going to have fun. Chris, thank you again. I think the offense will hum if we stay healthy. But
that was the number one. That was the
big
number
question is the defense, especially the run defense.
3 things.
Yeah.
I thought you was going to name the number one, health, because that's the key.
I was going to, it was one of those things that was kind of go without, kind of goes without saying, because everyone's going to be injured. And that's everyone's on their list. But this offense, when you're looking at this offense and what they can do, and you're seeing kind of I'm trying to make things easier for you. Looking at the offense, then we can get back to the defense and put a bow on it. But we'd be remiss not to talk about the offense. You see what Dallas did with Pickens. They made that trade to Pickens, and that really shot, some juice in everyone's vein. A lot of people were down. A lot of people were like, man, what's going to happen? And when you get that, I think that's a big pickup, obviously. But I think people are forgetting about Mingo. People are forgetting about Tolbert. I think those guys in roles that I think they're probably made for, being 3 and 4 and whatever else, I think that's going to be big for them in that offense. And then you talk about the tight ends. But what people are sleeping on is this interior. And I saw someone put it in the comments that I was going to talk about. This interior line. You're talking about Tyler Smith, Tyler Booker, and BB at center. What they are nasty. You listen to what Booker, would say. He just wants to look at the joy of football go out of his opponent's eyes, the love of the game as he destroys him. That reminds me a lot of like an Eric Williams mentality, a Kevin Gogan mentality. And then BB's funny because, we had the opportunity to, talk to his family, and so nice and just gentle giant, right? Is it great? But even as his dad said, he goes, man, when he gets on the field, he's like another person. He just turns into like the Incredible Hulk. He like changes from the nice guy to the mean guy. And then obviously Tyler Smith, perennial All-Pro, on his way to a Hall of Fame career. So this interior line has the opportunity to just dominate and break the will. And there's nothing, when they do that, there's nothing more demoralizing to a defense is when that line takes over and they can break your will. I mean, what do you think about that interior line of our offense? Do you think that's the engine that is going to get things rolling for Dak and the boys?
Well, on the offense, it is the most valuable asset on our offense. Pickens is a huge pickup, but the most valuable, critical aspect of our offense is our offensive line, and we're deep. This year, we are deep with the rookie Cornelius picked up in the 6th round, and then the other guys we got behind, Terrence Steele, and we got the Bookers, the Tylers. Man, I'm telling you, our offensive line, Hoffman, Beebe, we are deep, and we are thick, and we are talented. So all they have to do, all they have to do is meld together during training camp, because Dak has the protection he needs now. He has the receivers he needs now. He's got the running backs he needs now. Dak doesn't even need to run for 5 yards. Dak doesn't have to worry about testing that hamstring. Our offense makes you want to salivate this year compared to where it was last year. And when the season ended, you had no idea where we were going. But what they did this time with picking up all these transactions, trades, and these drafts on the offensive line, oh my googly, they got an opportunity. They have an opportunity to mimic some of the great offensive lines of the past that the Cowboys had. This may be the era where we start to put together that offensive line capability again that can mirror some of the offensive line greats we had in the past and give Dak the opportunity to be protected like Aikman, the opportunity to be protected like Staubach, the opportunity to go out there after 9 years, all the experience he has, all the weapons with him, looking at him on the showcase and saying, thank you, Jerry. He's got the opportunity now to move that offense like a smooth gliding surfboard all the way down that field, because we are ready on that offensive line. That is the most critical part of our offense, and we're deep.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think I think this offense has a really great opportunity to be special this year. And, it's going to me, it comes down to the running game. And I think, do they have enough? And to me, the X factor is going to be Javonte Williams. He's, he got injured a couple years ago. Obviously, they were talking about in the chat. We watched him at North Carolina. I mean, being Miami fans, being in the ACC, this kid he's a beast, and he's tough, and he'll run over you, he'll run past you, he'll run through you, he'll run whatever it takes. That's the way he was, and when he was healthy, I mean, and I've got family that Bronco fans. I got friends that are Bronco fans, and they told me they were sad to see him go because they saw the potential and they saw what he had. It's just unfortunate, injuries at that position. They start drafting others, and it's the way it works. But this kid's got an opportunity. He is gonna be the one, and if he can get things going, having Blue, being able to throw him in the slot, be able to throw him, dump passes, and then even using Kevontae Turpin, the way they used him in the backfield and the way they kind of got him out. Now you throw Blue and Turpin back there. I mean, there's the sky's the limit of the creativity that they can put together with this offense, because what this offense has, it has speed at every level. I mean, Pickens, you got Blue. You got the tight end. I'm forgetting his name. I apologize, but
Ferguson,
not Ferguson. The other one was it Ford?
Stevens Ford.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
guy.
You've got guys that can be big play guys. Now Ferguson's going to be your main guy, but I'm just talking about guys that can stretch the field. Turpin, obviously, and Blue, and we talked about all of them. This team is they've got speed, and I think with what Shoddy wants to do and what he's talked about, and proof is in the pudding. I think Steven put it in the chat earlier on. A lot of people are at that show me phase, right? And Cowboy fans are kind of like, all right, I'm hearing it. It sounds good. I'm not drinking a Kool-Aid yet. I want you to show me. And I don't disagree. I think a lot of Cowboy fans are like, hey, I got to see it. And you're going to see it week 1.
Yes.
And you're going up against the defending champions in their crib.
Yep.
The whole nation watching because it's on Thursday night to kick off the season. You're going to see where they're at. Win, lose, or draw, you're going to figure out where this team is at the potential level of where they're going. Because what's going to happen is you don't want any injuries, right? So
That's
by week one, you're playing Philly healthy, Dallas healthy. As healthy they're going to be, right? I mean, usually week one's about the healthy. So you're going to get a pretty good idea of where this team is at. That's the measuring stick. Now, if Dallas goes in and gets rolled, and I mean steamrolled, you're not going to be feeling too good. If Dallas goes in and it's a 31-28, it's kind of a back and forth tight game on the road against a divisional opponent, I would leave happy. I would leave okay because I'm like, all right, well, we'll be fine. If Dallas goes in there and wins, then it's gonna be like, all right, don't lay an egg next week to make that one not worth it. But you'd be saying, all right, this team's got it. And Dak Prescott, I mean, when healthy, he's owned that division and he's owned the Eagles. So I mean, it wouldn't shock me if that happened. Do I think Dallas is going to win? I mean, that's a tough thing to ask the team to win on the road, opening against the defending champs. Typically, I think the record's 13-5. I think the record is for the defending champions opening the season on Thursday night. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So,
well, I'm telling you, I have never said this in the history of watching the Cowboys. Number one, you never ever hear me say we're going to the Super Bowl this year. Nope, you've never heard me say that. But I will start hinting about it as we get later in the season that we got a strong chance. But I'm not mentioning the Super Bowl now. But as far as what I think we have, if everybody stays healthy out of training camp, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid right now. There's nothing about that offense right now that I see that we're lacking. If everybody stays healthy, and I will push that all the way through training camp, because last year with Sam Williams and a few others, it devastated us. But everybody stays healthy. Philadelphia is going to be on their heels in that first game. They're going to have that Super Bowl nightmare from that, still partying from it. They're at home, so they're like glad. The weather's going to be beautiful if it doesn't rain because it's not cold in Philly in that first game we playing them.
yeah.
And we got all the weapons we need. Now Philly can't play us with one or two weapons because we were lacking so many last year. Everybody's got to play honest on their defense now.
Yeah.
Everybody's seeing a different offensive line. They're seeing additional wide receivers. They're seeing more faster, beefier running backs. They're seeing a healthy Dak. Philly ain't playing the Dallas of last season. Listen to me, folks. Philly's not playing the Dallas of last season. We come out of training camp healthy. We win that game.
Yeah.
Philly, and everybody's expecting the first game. Philly's going to beat us in Philly because Dallas coming. We don't know what Dallas got. Everybody's saying, show me. I know why they're saying show me, because every year we come out and Dallas looks like they're going to do this, and then all of a sudden they go flop. But this year, think about it, folks. In the last 4 years, when have we had a loaded team like this on offense? Loaded. Philly will lose that first game. We're going to win it. Our defense is going to show up enough. Our offense is going to do more to win it. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid now for that first game. As long as we stay healthy, because I feel it. I have absolutely, positively, no questions or doubts about our offense if they stay healthy. I don't care about the show me. You showed me, Jerry, that you know how to go out and get offensive linemen and get deep. Back up. Good ones. And running backs. Back up. Wide receiver Pickens, big transaction. Turpin over there already. Tolbert out there. Flournoy. Man, listen. If anybody thinks our offense is going to be lacking this year, think about it. How do you lose with a team like this? And you got a new coach who's going to bring in a different culture. You got a defensive coach that's going to bring in a coach on defense. And the way he teaches that defense against our offense it's going to meld together even tougher. And we got injury people coming. Sam Williams coming back. Overshown just can't wait to get back in the game. Diggs is a question mark because of his mindset and his diva-ness and what he's going to do when he gets in the game if he's going to make those quick moves. But we got enough to make up for that. So I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on the offense 100%.
Yeah. No, I think the offense is going to roll. I think they're going to roll this year. Obviously, like you said, health is going to be the X factor. But their schedule's tough, man. Yeah, I mean, Greg got me. I mean, he's saying he's not talking Super Bowl. Sure sounds like he's talking Super Bowl to me. Let me ask you this, Greg, because I got into it with someone because I hear what you said, and I hear it all the time. It's like, oh, Dallas Cowboy fans, they always say this is their year and they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, I don't watch the games just to watch them. I'm expecting the Dallas Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl every year. Otherwise, why do I watch them? Why the hell do I watch the Cowboys? And why do I spend my time? Now, will they win? In the back of my mind, am I putting my money where my mouth is? No, but I expect the Cowboys to go in and win every game. I mean, that's my mindset, and I expect the Dallas Cowboys to contend for a Super Bowl every year. And I think any fan of any team should feel the same way. Otherwise, why the hell do you watch?
Yeah, and when I say I don't say every year, we're going to the Super Bowl, I'll never get on that train and say that at the beginning of a season because it's just too common in the Dallas era. Yeah. And it's just, you got 32 teams.
That's hard.
32 teams. And 30 of them aren't going to make it. But am I looking for Dallas to win every game? You damn right. Am I looking for Dallas to go to the Super Bowl every year? You damn right. Am I hoping that they go? You damn right. And I'm pushing and cheering on them. Yeah. But I'm not that guy that comes out at the beginning of the season and say, we going to the Super Bowl. We going. Yeah. No, because it's not because of Dallas. It's because you're going up a pyramid. And if you notice at the top of the pyramid, there's only a point. That means all of these bricks didn't make it. And it's 30 other bricks that will not make it. So it's not the team that I'm not concerned about making to the Super Bowl. It's the competition level of trying to get up there to that 1 and 2. And in the meantime, I'm focusing on game, and get us there. And then we get to the playoffs, and I see how we play that first round. I'm like, yeah, man, we got a good chance to go to Super Bowl. And then we get there, yes. But for me to say, I don't have anything against anybody else. But for me to say we're going to the Super Bowl this year, that's just not me. That's just not me. And it's not about I have doubts in Dallas. I'm looking at the competition, the odds. I'm thinking more of let's get the car started first. Let's not talk about the car is going to be in Indianapolis. Well, we got to get there first. Let's get it started. Let's see how it runs down the road. How does it make a left turn, a right turn? Is the engine fluid? Are we going to have any breakdowns or the tires going to go flat? So I'm looking at that kind of scheme. But I'm not the guy that always hollers, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. But I'm like you.
No one can doubt your confidence with the Cowboys. I've watched your videos. Ain't no one doubting your confidence.
Yeah, and if anybody watch my videos and think that I'm not confident that what we're going to do, even if it's a game, I know we're probably going to get busted. I'm still talking because until the game's over, it ain't over.
I always go back, like, it's funny because like the years. The Dave Campo years, and we've had Dave Campo on the show. I love Dave Campo, and he got handed a pretty bad deck of cards. I mean, he gets the coach of the Cowboys, and Troy Aikman's gone. I mean, now he's got Anthony Wright. I mean, just Ryan Leaf. I mean, it was just one bad thing after another for a few years. But I mean, my friends would laugh at me because if you gave me, a little time, I would get you believing the Cowboys were going to win a game. And we get our ass whooped. And then by next week, I'm like, well, if we do this, because people remember, like, our defense was pretty solid. Even in those years, Dave Campo, those defenses were pretty solid. It was just we had no quarterback, had no running. I mean, it was Troy Hambrick. He had Emmitt Smith for a year, but then it went to, for a couple of those years, but he was at the end. And then they had Troy Hambrick was kind of splitting carries. And then when Parcells got in, then they got rid of Emmett, if my memory's right, and then Hambrick became like the lead guy. But there was no team, but damn, I'd find a damn way to believe that we'd win a game. I mean, I drove all the way up to Atlanta to watch Ryan Leaf go against Vic, thinking that we're going to be the one team to get the talent out of Ryan Leaf. He makes his first start against Atlanta, and it was a disaster. It was
look, when Jerry went and got Ryan Leaf, that was the only team in Dallas Cowboy history. When they got Ryan Leaf, I wanted to bust the television because I was like, I don't know what the hell you doing. But see, in 2001, I met Campo because I was on the field at in Oakland when they played the Raiders when we had Galloway as a wide receiver.
Yeah,
and I got to the game early. I got a picture with Campo. I got a picture with our kicker who was a school teacher, tried out for the team and made it. I met on the sideline. I got a chance to chat with Teague. I got a chance to chat with Reggie Swinton. And then I saw Quincy Carter and them out there practicing. And Emmett was in the game. And Stepnoski got a picture with me and was talking to me and tried to get Emmett to come take a picture with me. And old arrogant ass Emmett turned around and looked at us and walked off. And Stepnoski hollered at him, talking about, bring your little short ass over here. Because Stepnoski was cool. But he never came back. But I got to meet those guys. But that was the era where all you were hoping for Dallas to do was just win a game or kind of close. Because we were eclectic. We didn't have nothing. Emmett was in his last few years with us. He was the only one you recognized. Hambrick was more like a washed up a Herschel Walker. Yeah. It was just, it was ugly. And then Galloway caught a bomb that game. I remember that. He caught a bomb because I got a picture with Galloway too. And Galloway, I remember telling him, I said, man, we got to beat him. He said, yeah, we're going to do it. But yeah, we didn't have a chance in Oakland. Yeah, the Oakland fans were fighting each other, and the Dallas Cowboys wasn't fighting nobody.
No. Yeah, those are some lean years. But that's what I say is, as a fan, I mean, you're still kind of, you're hoping your team wins, or you're optimistic, you're feeling it. Like I said, otherwise, why bother? Why watch it? But yeah, so I'm looking at this team, and Kelly and I did the too early schedule prediction. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know it's so hard because it's like I tell people, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. If you were going to, like, we play the Chiefs, play them on Thanksgiving. The Eagles play the Chiefs, I think, earlier. I mean, if we happen to play the Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes and the Eagles have to play the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, that's better for us. So it's when you play these guys. But if you were going to look at everything healthy and just kind of the way it works in normal attrition that you get with football, I mean, where do you see this team win total? They got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
But where do you see this team? Do you see them in the playoffs? Do you see them at a chance to win a division? I mean, where do you see this team right now?
Well, one thing I can say that I'm automatically expecting is that we make the playoffs. For me, that's a given. We're going to make the playoffs. That's a given as far as I'm concerned. Now, I will say that, and I'm not going out on a limb. And the Chiefs, the Chiefs lost that. I think it was one game last year. They lost, but let me tell you, remember I told you last year several times, I said I see a little chink in the armor of the Chiefs, just enough to see a chink. And the Super Bowl exposed that chink. Those boys got blown out. This year, they will not go 16-1. The Chiefs are going to be more vulnerable this year than they've ever been in the last 5 years. Mark my word, the Chiefs are going to get beat up and beat around. By the time they get to Thanksgiving, I think we're going to have the strongest team we got, bar health. We're going to have the strongest team we got ready. And I would not be surprised, shocked at all that we beat the Chiefs in Dallas on Thanksgiving. We are ready. We are ready. Eberflus is going to give us a defense this year that we didn't have last year. And think about it. All of those injuries last year on both sides of the field. We still won 7 games. And 2 of those games were won until the last minute. And that would have been 9. And that's with all those injuries. Now you bring some of those back. You bring in all that extra talent. 30 players we've acquired in the offseason that got to make the team. Everybody wants to wear that. You know those guys out there that are going to be putting that competition on the line, digging deep in that mud to try to win the position. And we got loaded positions everywhere. Chiefs, and our schedule is tough, but I still say 10 games are automatic.
Yeah.
10 wins are automatic. Playoffs automatic. Everything after that for me is gravy. So we get in the playoffs, damage will be done.
Yeah, that's like, hey, you just got to get in the playoffs. I mean, that's the goal. You get in the playoffs, and then you just like the chips fall where they may. The chips fall where they may. But I think the let's see what my it's a defense. Keeping teams under 20 points. That would be. I mean, I would do backflips if that happened. If our defense was able to do that, I would do. I mean, that's a playoff team. That's a team contending for a championship if the defense can do that. I don't know if the defense is there. I'm hopeful that this defense can be top half. I think if this defense can be a top half defense with the schedule they have, I think that's going to be, good enough for them to get the opportunity in the playoffs to try and do something. Let me ask you this. We'll wrap it up with Dak Prescott. It's always the lightning rod. Whenever you mention his name, I don't really understand it, but people either love him or hate him. There's really not a lot. If you say one good thing about Dak, you're what they call a Dak lover. And if you say one critical thing of him, then you're a Dak hater. You can't be in the middle. I'm in the middle. Like, I'm critical of him, but I think he's our best option, as a quarterback. And I think he gets a lot of hate unnecessarily. So the top ESPN, they do their top 10. They talk to their execs and they get this going. And Dak Prescott's outside the top 10. Coming off an injury year. But I guess my question on it is, and then you saw the NFL Network, the people of his peers have Dak in the top 100, which I didn't think he was going to make, because typically when you're injured, you're kind of like, you kind of fall off. But he was in the top 100. Now he was like 13th or 16th last year, so he fell to 79th or whatever for what it's worth. But the thing that I don't understand is if you have the same critique of Dak Prescott, why doesn't Justin Herbert get the same critique? Why does he get a pass? And you talk about playoff success. Justin Herbert had one of the biggest blown leads in a playoff game against Trevor Lawrence, right? In Jacksonville. Dak Prescott has beaten him every time they've gone head to head. So I'm just trying to understand what the media, is it a Dallas hate, or am I missing something with Justin? And I'm not saying Justin Herbert's a bad quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. But I think Dak Prescott is better. I think he's proven it head to head. You say, well, Dak Prescott, his playoff success isn't any good. Well, it's better than Herbert's.
Yes. And he beat Herbert.
And he beats him. So, because that's where people come to me, they'll say Jared Goff. And I say, like, well, Jared Goff, I don't think is better than Dak Prescott. I think Jared Goff's a game manager. I don't think he's a superstar. I don't think and then, well, look what he's done in the playoffs. And I say, all right, well, he took the Rams and you got to give him that. But the Lions, which were loaded, got beat. I mean, got beat. And they were big favorites over what? They lose the Washington Commanders. Yeah. And then you look at Stafford. All right, well, Stafford won the Super Bowl. So, all right, we'll put him ahead. And that's fine. And I always say, once you get past like 4, like your top 4 are given, right? Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. When you get to like 5 to 12, I guess it's whatever flavor suits you. But Herbert's the one that sticks out to me because I don't know what I'm missing.
Well, you're not missing anything, Mike. And it's like this. The most visible, the most talked about, the most hated, the most loved team in the National Football League from inception is the Dallas Cowboys. So no matter who you are as quarterback for Dallas, you're going to be talked about more than anybody. Nobody talks about Herbert. And Herbert was expected to be the biggest promise and the biggest the trifecta Super Bowl player coming out. And nobody talks about Herbert, period. Now, Dallas is a different story. You can always talk about Dallas. You either hate Dak or you love Dak. I love Dak. Yeah. Ain't no if and say. I game by game will see critique about Dak. And like I told you last year, I said there's something about Dak this year that's not right. And we all saw it, throwing the ball in the ground, doing this. But I'm all Dak. And here's the problem. And it's not psychological for people. It should be common sense. Every team in the NFL, when they winning or losing, who is the first player that every fan talks about? The quarterback.
Always.
Every fan talks about the quarterback. 11 players on the field at one time. But you say one player lost the game, you never think about the penalties, the drop passes, the fumbles, the defense that didn't do their job. But it's the quarterback. It's the quarterback. So I'm smart enough to know the quarterback doesn't play every position. I'm smart enough to know that we have one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and there's no way in hell I would go without him. And another thing, I save myself a lot of stress, headache, and anxiety because I don't pay those pundits any damn attention. It's their job 365 days a year, even during hockey season, even during wiffle ball season, to talk football. And this week, Dak is the best man ever, all of them. Next week, I don't think Dak is going to be this and all that. Next week, Dak's not even the top 100. This week, the same guys talking now, Dak's in my top 10 because they got nothing to talk about.
They know that's going to get the reaction.
And none of their predictions ever come through fruition. They're talking because they have to fill the network. They go down the list. I think Dallas wins this, lose this, wins this. They don't know. That's their job. They got to make money. So that doesn't bother me because if I let that shit get to me, it'll drive me nuts by the pundits. So I don't worry about where everybody else on TV racks Dak. That doesn't come to mind. They can say Dak is straight trash. I don't get upset because you have to do that on television to get your viewers to call in. I know you're going to talk about Dallas. Look at Stephen A. Stephen A. It made his crown higher off the Dallas Cowboys. Talking about
he owes the Dallas Cowboys money.
And he knew he couldn't talk good about them. He had to talk about the most famous, most visible franchise in the history of the NFL in order to get his fan base riled up so he can make that money in the market. He's smart. But let me say something to Carl Smith real quick. Carl, I know you're a Dallas Cowboy hater. I wasn't saying I was happy with 7 games. See, you one of them guys.
Why did he get sucked into that?
No, because I never do, Mike. But this one I have to say because Chris Gones got it right. I saw Chris's comment later. Chris got it perfectly right. Thank you, Chris. At least you are watching and listening, and you follow the game here. Carl's just talking smack because Carl loves to be on our podcast, which we love, Carl.
We do appreciate it.
You ain't on your Philadelphia Eagles podcast, are you?
No,
he's right here.
It's a closet Cowboy.
And I got plenty jerseys for you, Carl, if you want one, because eventually a hater that deep loves the Cowboys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the Cowboys they won 7 games banged up, and they beat playoff teams. I mean, it's crazy.
Banged up. And the Lions, like you spoke about the Lions. The reason why the Lions lost to Washington, the Lions got banged up and lost. I'm telling you, like I said, I look at this. Lions lost more key players on defense and on offense than we did. But they were able in offense to keep the train running. And in that game against Washington, if they had half of those players back, no way Washington wins, and the Lions are in the Super Bowl. But people think it was a big letdown. Even the fans, what the Detroit Lions fans need to realize is you were playing not with the backups. You were playing with the backup to the backups. And the water boy had to put on a jock strap. The Lions were lucky to even be in that game in the first half because they were depleted. Totally depleted. So they got in the playoffs with a banged up team worse than the Cowboys. They didn't have a chance at home. They could spot them 10 points. They didn't have a chance. But if all their players or half of their players were healthy, the Lions win that game. So Washington didn't go in there and blow out the Detroit like Washington was all the magic. We saw who Washington really was when they played Philly. Yeah. Washington, for the fans who only think 15 minutes in a game and don't look and study to see what Washington lined up to play. Washington had 100% of their players. Detroit had about 35% of their players. So Washington didn't go in there and blow them out like they beaten the former NFC playoff team. They played a depleted team. They were lucky to draw them in that game. And then they got the Philly, and Cinderella slipper fell off just like we knew it would. So, yeah, Daniels got them to the NFC Championship. Hell, if we made the playoffs and played Detroit, we would have beat them with all our players. Any other team played Detroit that game, they would have beat them. But Detroit end up playing Washington, and everybody think Washington is on their way. And even the pundits, Mike, you see the pundits, the way Washington handled Detroit. I'm like, man, you get paid. You get paid to do this. You get paid to go around all day and study and talk to players and see what they're doing in their stats. And you mean to tell me you are up here crowning the Commanders for beating Detroit when they had nobody, when Dan Campbell had to suit up? If the pundits can't see that, fans damn
that's why, I mean, Kelly and I got in debates about it. I don't think Washington's that good. I still don't believe them.
No.
I think they were very fortunate in their everything, and you got to create your own luck. So I don't hate them for it, but a lot of things went their way. Every break went their way.
Yeah.
And that usually doesn't happen again. Like the breaks are going to start going the other way. So I they had Daniels as the top 5. He was ranked number 5, which is absolutely asinine to me. I mean, he is not the 5th best quarterback in the NFL today.
Oh no.
He's not. I mean, he's not. Now, could he be? Could he be? Absolutely, he could be. But after his first year, I'll be damned if I'm going to say he's the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. I would put 10 other quarterbacks, 7, 8 other quarterbacks ahead of him, without even thinking twice about it. And it's nothing against him. It's just prove it. Like C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud came back to reality the next year, but the first year he was 4th best quarterback. And he's he's a good quarterback. And I'm not saying anything negative. It's just like you said, the media, it's the flavor of the day, and that's the hot one. But when you dig and you peel the layers of Washington, you realize, go back to the Chicago game, the Dallas game at the end of the year, go to some of these other games, and they're like, they could have easily been 500 or below. I mean, it easily happened, but it didn't, and you can't hate them for it. They made the playoffs. You play the teams in front. It's like I said, the year that Philly went to the Super Bowl and lost, their road was Daniel Jones and the 4th-string quarterback for the 49ers.
Yeah, it sure was.
Hey, you create your own luck. They were the number 1 seed, or number 2 or whatever it was. So that was the opportunity that they made for themselves, and Dallas didn't. Dallas had to go a different road.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. So I don't hate Washington for it, but I don't expect to see Washington doing the same.
Absolutely not.
So that's
and Mike, you're 100% right. That onion is peeled back, and that's what I look at when you peel the onion back. First of all, we came out the gate depleted. So Washington and the Giants was trash. Philly was the only other competition because we came out depleted. So all Washington had to do was win some other games. They got lucky on Chicago. We beat Washington with depletion to depletion in Washington.
In Washington with nothing.
In Washington, we beat them. They barely beat Chicago at home. And then they get in the playoffs and they play a depleted Detroit.
Trey Lance I mean, Jaden Daniels was struggling. Trey Lance was beating Washington. You know what I'm saying?
Killing them. And then Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh beat Washington in Washington, didn't he? Russell? Didn't he beat them? See, and then we beat, this is what Chris Gones said. He said we beat the 3 playoff teams. We sure did beat 3 playoff teams with a depleted team. And then, like you said, Philly. But a lot of people will not remember that, Mike. They will not remember that Philly played the Giants, who upset Minnesota in the playoffs. And then they played the Giants, who were trash. And then the next game when they played the 49ers, the quarterback's out. And then they had to go to 3rd-string quarterback. There's no way in hell 49ers are going to win that game. So they had the opportunity of not playing the best teams in the playoffs with the best teams. They played the teams that made the playoffs with big-time injuries.
Yeah.
And so did Washington when Washington got in there. Now play everybody straight up in the playoffs when they don't have those injuries. Washington, you are going to be trash. I'll be surprised if y'all don't split with the Giants this year.
Yeah, I don't expect much from him, but shout out to my man Jimmy Dee. He's on vacation. He's enjoying himself at the beach. He's getting a nice tan. He's looking all handsome. He's ready to roll. So, but yeah. So anyway, that's our show. We talked a lot about the Cowboys defense, getting you guys ready, but we got a lot more going on. And again, just for all the people that joined late, our 3rd annual tailgate party against the Packers. in September, week 4. It's going to be a hell of a time. Cuts has done a special commemorative paddle. I'll get a picture for the next show when Kelly's on it. We go whoop that ass, spank that ass at Green Bay. So you get an opportunity to get yourself a nice paddle. It says Cowboys Cave on it. Backside, you can get whatever you want. You can get your name on it. I like to commemorate things. So I did the Dallas Star versus Green Bay's logo 2025. You get it signed by everyone who's there. It's really cool. We're gonna have a good time. But anyway, so that's what we got going on. What'd you say?
Who got that signed jersey last year that we all signed last year?
Oh, that was our man Frankie from Germany, man.
I know. Oh yeah, that's right. He deserves it. That one, he flew all the way from Germany.
Oh, he's coming to this one. He's coming to this. And the beauty is, and all the stars aligned. He told me, Mike, he was, please don't make it the first game. Make it and then we pulled the Giants at noon. It's like, well, it's definitely going to be the first game. And it worked out good because he was on a scheduled trip, so he was gonna miss it, and he was gonna break his heart. So it all worked out well. But hopefully, we'll see you guys all out there. The season is getting closer, so we're gonna get back to our regular schedule. Just got to get through this month. This is the month we got to get through. My kid's going to college, so I got a lot of stuff going on. I got birthdays and stuff, but we were going to get back to Greg and I's Sunday special. So we'll
I'm ready
on Sundays. We got Kelly. I'm going to do a special show, and I was going to talk to you, Greg, about it, but we'll do it now. Is the Netflix is coming out, so I'm going to do a recap show. I lived it. Greg, you lived it. And some of us old timers, we lived this era. So we're going to share some of our thoughts on what we saw, what we remember, and get interaction with you guys, because those are guys who do remember it. It'll be fun looking back. I'm going to talk to a couple players that were from that era and have them maybe come in and just kind of maybe share 5 minutes of their stories and see if anything lines up. And Netflix doing a good job. So we got a lot of stuff planned once we get in August. We just got to get through July. We're gonna live through July, but we'll get it rolling. But the hype train's going. You saw the hype video. I'm out on the boat. I'm thinking about the Cowboys 24/7 getting the season ready. Got to get the mind right. Yep. Got to get the mind right, get the body right, get everything right.
You're always repping, too. You're always repping.
Always. So it's going to be great. But, Greg, definitely appreciate you joining us. We will be back in the cave. And like I said, Greg, we'll figure out some times. Like I said, just got to get through 1 or 2 more weeks, and we'll be ready to roll. But everyone else, you guys have a great evening. Greg, thanks again. Tell everyone one more time where they can find you if they don't already know.
When the season starts, go find me on Gregory Gerard 146. You can go on TikTok. You can go there now and see all the videos from last year. You can see the videos. Stephen A. Smith put me in on one of them. You can see the one with Michael Parsons, gave me a shout out. You can see the one we went to Pittsburgh where I hollered at all the fans before the game, told them we were going to whoop them and give them a can of Campbell soup, and we did. And I went around the entire stadium with my brother who's a Pittsburgh fan. You'll see it all. And in Facebook is Gregory Gerard, because I always post them on Facebook too when the season starts. It's going to be fantastic. The Cowboys are loaded this year, baby.
We are ready, and we are feeling really good. So you guys have a great week. We'll see you Wednesday. We got a fan of the month, not this week, but next week. I'm trying to get my man Teague lined up for this week, so hopefully that'll happen. I got to reach out to him one more time to see if we can get it. So it'll be fun, guys. We appreciate it. Have a great week. I'm heading to the ATL, so I will be back Wednesday night just in time for the show. We'll see you guys. Take care. See you.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.
Awesome.